Hello,
Oh boy.
and welcome to episode 2 of the Game Report. We're ready to roll. Hey, we got day off Dave in town.
What's going on? What's going on?
Glad you
Happy
could
to
make
make
it.
it this week.
We got hitting coach extraordinaire, Drew Martinez. I'm the host today. Skipper's feeling a little under the weather, so he'll be back next week maybe. But today we had a big week, fellas. We had a big week. It was a tough week, man. We had to grind out some things. I think there's a few things I want to hit on. But I think first off, let me introduce our other co-host. This is Indy Ball Joe Boo. And what the Florence had this week, a big thing that we did have, was the introduction of this. We had the Yalls first beer. I don't know what to call it. I haven't had one yet, and I was gonna try one on air.
Y'all are nothing.
Y'all are nothing IPA. It looks sick. I got one sitting on my desk that I'm not gonna touch. I'm just gonna leave it there. But I wanted to. You're not allowed to have this. And I'm not driving. I live at the clubhouse. Drew, you want to get a little sip? What do you think? You're an IPA guy.
First saying we're both vaccinated, so we're good. Second,
Yeah.
I like it.
It's good, right?
I like it. It's 50 West, right?
It's good.
It's 50 West, I believe.
Yeah.
I like it. We got some 50 West in the clubhouse.
Like I
in our
said-
coach's office specifically.
Don't steal Joe Boo's IPAs. So,
It's good.
we do have Dave, Full Throttle, Johnny here. Drew he wants to get sponsored by Monster. He's got Oakley, the Flair. He's a Flair
Sponsored
guy.
by Monster and Oakley. You good day.
Dave wants to be sponsored by somebody who's gonna do his chores back home. That's why he missed last week. So
And
he has
Vineyard
some
Vine.
chores.
Big Vineyard Vine guy.
He is big Vineyard Vine. But I do want to know what chores you had last week that kept you away from the show.
Well, first I had to go to the grocery because I ain't gone to the grocery all week. I had to do all my laundry. I also had to clean my room.
Did you have to do your laundry, or did somebody else do your laundry?
No. Normally, here, my laundry's taken care of. So my mom makes me do my
Do
laundry.
you
at
fold
home.
your laundry, or do you just throw it in the
I
drawer?
hang it. I'm a hanger guy.
Ooh,
Okay.
yeah, I like
Hanger
that.
guy.
He is a hanger guy.
It's more efficient,
All right.
in my opinion.
He
What-
pulled it out the bag and all they're already on hangers. It's like, well done, Dave.
It's efficient.
Yeah.
This is nice. You learn some cool tricks of the trade.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to get your opinion a little bit later on, Dave. I want to turn their attention back to the guys and go back to the games. We'll go later on about how you like your first professional coaching experience. I know you had last year a little bit, but being able to come in and really dive into a full season and kind of seeing how you're acclimated to it. And I'm going to ask about some of those hitters specifically. That way we could start talking about some guys individually and see where they're at with their progression and kind of track them. But this week, it was a tough week, man. We had a big division series, and I know we want to hit on that first one. It was a slugfest shootout with Evansville. I mean, it was overall, the game was 26-27. We outscored them over the course of 3 games. And, the first game, 11-6, and the 13-7. That second one, we came out on top, and then we took it to a tie, 9-9 in Game 3 that ended up in a home run derby, which I do not agree with, and I think we'll probably give some opinions on that. It's it's a divisional series. It's a divisional game. It was for the 2 top teams in the league, and going at a home run derby when a team's not built for a home run derby, or it's not like – I can't say we ain't got guys that hit home runs. I'll blame the guy who was throwing BP. It was me, and maybe I got a little ego when I was out there on the field during that game. I got the juice, and I think it was coming in a little too hot. That's my fault, I was looking for strikeouts rather than trying to give up home runs.
Job, baby.
I was trying to get signed right there. So I'll put that loss on me. I don't like the way a game should come down to it. It is what it is. And, if we're trying to entertain the fans, I think everybody left anyway before that actually happened. So,
As long as that game was.
it is what it is. But Evansville Series, we did get to find out we got to fight through some adversity. It was the first game that we got beat. You could say that first game. That was the first game all season that I would say that we got beat. I mean, they handed it to us a little bit. We didn't take care of the baseball. We didn't play better baseball. There was some details. We didn't cut the runner off. There was some things as far as on the mound. We didn't control our body language, and that affected the defense. And it ran into the offense, and it all just kind of turned into this big mess. It really did.
Yeah.
But talk about some sticks, because the offense produced, and they did some really cool things during that series, and I'll talk about some of that pitching and kind of the lumps we took and what we're going to grow from. But what do you got as far as the offense? Because it really showed out in that series.
Well, the start was we talked earlier in the week about slowing down at bats with moments. You know, every at bat, every pitch is a moment. Slowing down that, allowing that to happen, and it turned out being we executed more, we were better offensively. We we got a chance to score a run or execute a moment. We did so. It was big, and for us offensively, and Dave and I consistently worked to consistently make sure our team was the best prepared. They did a good job. I credit them. Even from anything from hits, bunts, however we had to do it, we found a way to do it, and it was so credit to the offense to, because at the end of the day we can tell them all we want, but if they don't execute it, they don't do it. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And when it comes to as players, obviously player of the week Harry did a phenomenal job. That guy's done well all year, but he stepped it up a little bit this series, and it was huge for us because it kept us there, him in the middle.
He can adapt pitch to pitch. He's cool to watch, cool to talk to. AB to AB, he knows, especially if there's a guy that has a plan that's trying to do something to him. He can see that. He plays the cat, man. He's the cat in the mouse game. So he plays the cat against pitchers most of the time. When I like to be able to make sure the pitcher's the cat to the mouse. But Harry's the cat.
And we moved him up from that 6 to the 5 spot, put him in a little more opportunity situations. And he's taking advantage of it this week. The minute he moved to that 5 spot, he took a huge advantage of it this week, and it was very nice to see. Again, well-deserved player of the week. Guy works consistently. Guys in that hitting. We take BP. Guy immediately goes in, back to work, doing stuff. I mean, he's not just showing up to the field. He's putting in work before. He's constantly doing yoga. He's constantly doing something to prepare his body, and put himself in the right positions consistently. And so when a guy prepares. He hit that infield single. They got 2 runs. People are like, oh, it's lucky. Well, to me, luck is preparation. He prepared the right way, therefore luck goes your way. Yeah. And that's what I believe.
I don't think he should be here too much longer, man. To be honest,
I don't know why he's still here.
The way he's playing, defensively, I know second's new as far as being out there and the time he's put out there, but him and Louie work really good together, and they got the most double plays in the league. Out there, I believe, that's going into that.
I think it is.
I'm sure that Southern Illinois series, I think they rolled 6, so there's got to be no way they catch them now, right?
And they're always hyping each other up, which makes it even better. They're constantly challenging each other. It's fun to watch them play. Yes. They're talking, they're jawing, they're having a good time. They're talking to their team. Not anything disrespectfully, but they're talking, having a good time. They're always consistently having fun, and it keeps our dugout light, keeps our dugout fun. It's enjoyable to be around. And we're lucky to have them on the team, much less who knows how much longer, but we're lucky to have them on the team.
Yeah, I'll say on that pitching side, we'll talk about that pitching just a little bit, and we'll go back to that offense, and because I think that on that pitching side with that Evansville series, it was more of a we did let that body language leak in. Some of the starters changed the way they pitched, because I thought we got caught too much trying to pitch to a game plan a little bit and pitch to a team rather than go out and use our strengths. I thought we got away from attacking with our strengths and being able to use our strengths, not caring what anybody else does, and being able to adapt and play that game and see how to make those pitches. And I think we got caught up emotionally not being able to implement our game plan, and that kind of burned us up. We forgot about the script, and they tried to take it in their own hands, and threw some pitches that we shouldn't have thrown, and they capitalized. I tip my hat to Evansville taking advantage of of it.
They can swing the bat.
They did. They took control of the ABs in the box. They did. I didn't like it. It was something like I said, it's still early. And those games meant more. I think to us, we felt what they meant. And I'm not saying the players didn't know what those games meant, but as far as this time of the year, we're stacking up to see who's going to come out on top in this division right now. Yes, that's going to change in a month. That'll change in 2 months, but we're seeing right now if what we got rolling and what we're doing is applicable and it makes sense as far as competing in a game. And I thought we saw that it did offensively. And I think it was kind of almost that cool double-edged sword where it's like we saw what we did wrong on the pitching side, and we fixed that and we implemented it against Southern and we're back on track. And I would like to see those guys implement that same thing against Evansville and have the same type of results. It was just some innings as far as those shutdown innings. I think we tried to put pressure and not let them score rather than be free to pitch ourselves. Yes. So I still there was some still good things, man. There was some still bright spots through. We got Carl back on. Carl Craigie came back on in a big game in that 10th inning to help us out there. We got 3 punch outs. I'm glad to see him back out there. Mm-hmm. Some guys had some really good outings. Cheek showed some stuff for us. I mean, there was some guys that went deep. But it was one of those things where you talked about with Edgar having a bounce back. One of those games against Evansville was he got out of his element. Yes. He got away. He started living off his secondary. And if you're living off your secondary,
trouble from the first
That means there's
ball.
no primary.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not setting a gear.
Yep.
It's secondaries. Now you're primary, and when you go primary, you don't know where it's at. And so he kind of got caught there in between, and it cost him a little bit. But the same with Christian. Christian had really good stuff. You know, he showed the week before in Gateway where he dominated those guys with heavy fastball, good tight slider. He didn't have his good fastball command, and, you know, he fell behind a little bit, and that kind of lost the game plan, and he started rushing, trying to take control of the game himself with his off-speed. And then they knew that, and if he wasn't hitting on his off-speed, he had to come back over with his fastball, and it got hit. You know, it's lessons you got to learn early in the season, which I think those guys are going to apply those moving forward, and those guys that did. We saw Edgar do it yesterday,
Yeah, Edgar did phenomenal.
and it was shoved yesterday against Southern. But, Dave, what do you got against that Evansville series? You had a lot of guys on base. You had a lot of guys at first to talk to and work with. What about stealing bags, working on bags? What are you guys working on? You know, what are you and Drew kicking back and forth as ideas to keep us aggressive, to keep us moving, to keep us in the game and knowing what we're doing to keep the pressure on the defense?
Yeah, well, the first thing is Drew's got like these great charts. So Drew's got charts. So we got pretty much all the guys, you know, their tendencies, all that kind of stuff. So we kind of have an idea, maybe what kind of counts we got going on. The other thing is Cheek. Mastermind Cheek's got that program he's put together, so we can see percentages and all that kind of stuff on
Fastball
historically
games,
what's
yeah.
coming in what situation. So being mindful of that before I go out every inning, I look at that kind of. As long as we got the same pitcher out there, I kind of have a general idea of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Outside of times and just being able to pick apart situations, we kind of have some data to go behind and stay aggressive. And we got guys stealing bags that aren't big bag stealers. Brizuela, I think he's got 5 bags, and he hasn't played in a couple days. Brower's stealing bags. Harry's stealing bags. These are guys that don't typically like to steal bags or aren't known as base stealers, and they're getting bags, and that's a good sign for the offense.
Good answer, Dave.
Yeah.
You killed that, man.
Well done, Dave.
That was nice.
Every once in a while locks in, you know?
Sneaky.
Hey, Dave,
For what?
I got a couple things for you.
All right, right.
Oh, I'm just going to ask a couple things before you hit on the home run derby. I do want to get you guys' opinion on the home run derby. Look, man, Andy McCauley, their manager, he wasn't happy about it either. That was his second one that he's had to do. I can't say that I wasn't fired up to go out and throw it. I was ready to go out and throw it. Little Bobby Siegel went out there throwing his little poop, and they're hitting that poop out. I don't throw poop, you know, and I don't know. Maybe it's just a mad matchup. But anyway, we don't have guys built to hit home runs right there, and we hit our home runs in game, in competition, and we run into at-bats, and we make adjustments. We don't have these big dudes that hit in the cage, and they're just going to sit there and drop tanks. I mean, cool, more power to you, but if a game and a playoff berth is going to be decided on whether a guy can hit 30 miles an hour out of the park, cool, man. What talent does that take? It doesn't take any talent.
Yeah, well, most of the guys that are hitting in the home run derby are going to hit 230 anyway. You know, and that's the biggest thing. You might have a couple guys that might do well, but
I will say Crane, he put on a display.
Crane
He
puts on
did.
display.
He did.
Crane puts it on display.
Our
And-
Crane, too, I think is a good matchup. I was talking about Raleigh Crane for them.
Yeah,
He
and
put on a
Crane.
show. I think he hit a
5.
couple of those trees. He might knock a tree down. I think there's a tree down there. It's down
Yeah,
there.
minute at 5, I was like, okay, we're not in a good spot. We're not in a good spot.
But we got home run hitting guys, but they're not BP home run hitting guys. You know, like Sedio's a good example. He hits bombs all game long, but when you watch his BP, that line drive over the shortstop's his bread and butter. That's all
Yeah.
he tries to work on.
Yeah.
He gets upset almost.
Yeah, we're going to be
when he
on
pulls it.
time. Being on
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
get
look,
real
Craig
to it.
Ford-
See a deep stand through it.
Crayport's top of the leagues in home run, but he couldn't even get one out. Like, he's not relying on hitting home runs during BP, and that's the biggest thing is he's relying on hitting balls hard. And he's just like he said, like yesterday, he hit freaking 3 or 4 balls like over 100 miles an hour. All were outs, and all were blasted, but they were hit right at people. You know, it is what it is, but that's not what we're working for. You know, you're not gonna be successful if you're continually trying to hit home runs in this league.
No.
You know, and that's the biggest thing. And we saw that. I mean, heck, in 18, we led the league in home runs. But you know what we led the league in strikeouts too, and we didn't make the playoffs. 19, we didn't lead the league in home runs.
Yeah.
Led the league in walks, led the league in other stuff, made the playoffs, made it to the championship. You know,
Yeah.
and a swing or two away from winning a championship. You know, pitch or two away from winning. You know, but instead, so I'm not relying on the home run. It just happened we've run in some balls.
No, but we're going to
That's
have
what
to
it
rely on the home run and home run derby, but I don't know. You got the best pitcher in the league throwing it. He's got the best ERA, so I think we might need to shift that up a little bit. We do have some new BP throwers, man, that we will we'll be bringing on air. Our nerds, we got the nerd crew. They're full go. I think we're bringing in a couple of those guys. They throw BP. One guy actually he's a pitcher. He's going into his senior year. Andrew throws BP. Connor throws BP. So we have some guys
Massa throws BP.
Massa throws BP. Dave throws.
I just throw.
Dave throws.
He does BP sometimes.
BP.
He did BP yesterday. Threw well.
Yeah.
How many
Did
dudes
BP.
you hit?
None.
Anybody.
Yeah, threw well yesterday.
Hey,
Tenny was getting in the dome a little bit. He was taking them right down the middle.
Tenny
And I
was taking
like,
too many
oh.
pitches yesterday.
it's difficult.
But-
I hit the tee. I was
Ten-
like, oh my god.
Tenny's doing Tenny.
Yeah, he was in my dome. Like
He was
like
in-
he's in the rest of the league's dome.
Yeah. Hey, but let's wash out that Evansville series. 1-2 in that. I thought those games were close. I'm ready to play them again. I don't like the, I'm glad it's over. I'm glad we got to see a team that brought a different element and brought a different competition to us.
Start.
We took that to Southern. Now, we took that to Southern and we put it on them. I thought we should have came out on top yesterday. There was a couple plays, that we made, a couple
Mental
pitches that were some mental lapses. But overall, let's talk about that Southern series really quick. That first game was nice. The first game was Villalobos. I'll talk about Kevin Hahn in a minute. And then Martinez making that big one. But offensively, some timely hitting, some really good defense. It was clean. We played clean baseball.
A safety squeeze.
We
in
did
the
a
first
safety
game.
squeeze.
That
Yep.
ended up being the difference in the game.
Yep.
At a big time, executed well by Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. Like I said, we're putting together bats. We're hitting a lot of balls hard. It's a huge field. Not many guys hit. I don't think there's one home run. Oh, there's one home run hit. Most majestic home run.
It was blasted.
But
Blasted.
but aside from that, there's no other home runs hit, and you have to kind of play that way there. It's a big field. It's a graveyard.
Yeah.
It's a little different from our field.
I love going there.
I do too. It's fun playing there.
For the pitchers, too.
Always good competition playing there. Southern's going to put together a team. But we dominated that series offensively. Came out the ball well. We had a couple innings where we kind of, again, mental lapse. Didn't really execute at best. Didn't have a good approach. Let the guys know. They turned it back on, back to it. But I felt like, up until even up until the last out, we had second, third chance to win the game.
I had a shot.
We had a chance to win the game, and so it is what it is.
Yeah.
You take that momentum into this next series, but I was very happy with how we went about the bats. I think we only missed really 2 opportunities to score runs in the whole series.
Yeah. It was a tight series as far as we had to earn and manufacture those opportunities to score.
It always is.
That was the cool thing about that. And pitching on the pitching side, man, I thought the starters, we had a talk after that Evansville series, and I think that all those starters took that talk to heart. It was helping them understand how good they really are, and the perception that they put off when they're on the mound. There's a certain type of pitcher that pitches here for Florence. There's a certain type of pitcher that we keep, and that's the guy who's on the mound, who is a professional, who is poised, who's under control, and he controls the at-bats. He controls the tempo. And that kind of lacked a little bit in Evansville, especially when some of those hits fell. Man, I couldn't tell you how many of those hits they shot through that 4.5 hole that it really beat on our guys.
Or
And it kind
dumped
of
in, and they're frustrating. You make pitches, but
they stopped making those pitches, and it was kind of like a little bit of a. It was a little bit like really it fell down instead of focusing on whatever, man. Let me get another one and keep coming. So we did that in Southern though. Every pitch, every at bat, we kept coming, and then the starters took it deep.
I think almost 7 innings every single time.
It was
right about
into the 7th.
Yeah.
Into the 7th.
That's huge for us, especially for our bullpen. Saving them a little bit,
That
letting them
was-
relax a little bit. That was nice.
That was exactly what he was for. Hahn did it. Hahn would be my pitcher of the week.
Yes.
Just because he was able to go deep into that 8th. He went into that 8th. And he asked me. He came out. He's like, man, I wanted that CG. I said, why you didn't get that CG? I told him the next day. I was like, here's why you didn't get that CG. I said, because you came in after the 5th inning at 49 pitches. And he didn't know that. I was like, hey, it's the first time I really kind of asked him. I was like, how you feeling? How's your body feeling? He's like, I'm good. I got one more. I was like, one more?
Yeah.
I was like, you're at 49 pitches. He's like, oh. I was like, all right, one more. I was like, that's why you didn't get that CG.
Uh-huh.
But it wasn't that. It wasn't. I know some of the guys are asking, why do you give him a CG? He's only at 84 going out. After 8. Why go throwing the 9th? Well, why? What was the point? It's 6-1. What's the point coming up 4th time through against 2-3-4, who's seen him well, who he's going to have to put a lot of pressure on. He's out of juice. Why go out there and mar that outing and make it look bad, and then have to get a reliever hot in a situation he doesn't need to be in? Like, why do it?
Rubio in there looks like 100.
And Rubes came in just pumping. Like, it was pumping. So, yeah, that's the reason why I didn't get you the CG. I didn't get you CG, Han, because, come on, man, it's the third star of the year, baby. We're still in June. I mean, we still got July, August, and we go into September. So, if those are CGs, why don't you do that a little bit later in the year?
Yeah, I thought Edgar was big. I thought from a growth standpoint, Edgar
Yes,
was huge.
you saw who he was.
Yes.
He was the aggressor with his heater. He didn't abandon it. And I'm not saying he abandoned it here with Evansville, but he didn't use it to set his secondary up. Yesterday, he used it, and he maintained 91-92 with life into the 7th, and he pitched off of it nasty, man. He threw 28, 29 changeups, and those were aggressive, and you really couldn't tell because of the arm speed and the aggression he was throwing them with. You couldn't tell as a hitter either.
Like main sinkers.
Both sides of the plate, yeah, it was whack, and so he was nasty. It was fun to watch. I was glad he didn't abuse his off speed, and he didn't start pitching backwards. You know, he stayed aggressive with his off speed, and he attacked with it, and he really got some good results. You know, he got tagged for that solo against Mangieri, who's the Yalls killer. Sorry, who's the Yalls killer.
Well, I think he hits one pitch. That's fast.
That's it. But we challenged him in a spot we shouldn't have challenged him. It was early in the game, first inning, nobody on. Flip something in there if you want to. Chest it out, see where it's at. He challenged, got burned, and then he proceeded to shove for the next 6 innings.
Yes.
And it was awesome. He ran into a little bit of trouble in that 7th. Hit that ground ball, kind of kicked off his ankle.
Yeah.
It swelled up his calf, and we had a play. I thought we should have been made. Didn't get made. His bullets were up there. Pushing to 100. I didn't want to push him over 100. So that situation was over, and a couple of those runs scored and got tagged onto him. But I thought he threw the ball well. I thought we threw the ball well the whole
pitchers
the
were
whole
wild.
series.
We won the first 2 games, and they were either in the third game.
Yeah.
This pitching.
Yeah.
Wasn't the hitting, it was the pitching.
It was good pitching too, because when you were watching, when we were sitting in the dugout, you could see the way they were taking swings, they were off balance swings. They weren't
defensive.
They weren't comfortable swings.
Yeah.
They didn't feel like they were seeing it well. They were just hacking to hack.
When the other team is coming in there saying, "I was just cheating the second pitch," that's how you know you're getting to them.
Yeah.
When they're up there, there's no approach, no plan. There's, hey, I'm just hacking the second pitch. They get lucky and get one. It is what it is. That's because our pitchers came in. They're aggressive. They attacked, and it's a complete different mindset. And it looked good. The whole series looked good. I mean, they're why we won.
I want to hit on a couple guys. I'll give you a couple guys to talk about. That way you guys can do your magic and put up a couple of those sweet clips. It was nice, those guys chopping in that video. I don't know if you guys seen that last game report. Go check it out. Every time we start talking about somebody, it's like magic. I'm going to put my hands up here. You guys tell me where to do that. You can pop up, do some cool stuff like that. Andre Mercurio. I want to know more about him. We got to see him at Southern. You got to see some one-handed barrels when he's down in the count, fighting things off. Dude's got good bat-to-ball skills, good barrel control. I like the way he plays center. He's got control out there. He knows what he's doing. Yeah. He's always shading the right way. He's doing some cool things. He's going to be aggressive on the bases. You guys are going to see a lot of him. He got hit in the hand last night. I hope he's all good.
Yeah, 94.
No big deal. 94 in the wrist.
Still found a way to get on at a big time.
It was huge. So I do want to know about Andre. You had him a little bit in the past. Let's get to know Andre a little bit. Dave, I'm gonna ask you about
Sedio.
Yep, the Sheriff Sedio is.
Sheriff.
I want to see what you got on him. Let's get to know a couple guys, and I want to talk about. Tell me a picture. I know them all. Who you want to know about? Who you guys want to know about?
Under the radar guy.
I want to know a little bit about Yannick. I haven't really seen a bunch of him. I've seen him twice, but I don't know.
Yannick Villalobos.
The Magic Man.
Venezuelan Magic Man. Mexico, what's it? I don't know.
I saw
Anyway.
a haircut this morning, so.
Mercurio.
I've got him 18 and 19. He was typically our 4-hole. Not your typical 4-hole, but again, we don't run a typical offense. And so to understand that, he bunts in the 4-hole. It makes so many people mad, but then when we score 4 that inning,
4-hole, but he was leading off. He let off this.
He's let off the past, and I think him and Brian are probably switch off a little more in the leadoff spot.
Ooh, I would like to hit on Brian because it was the first time he let off against Evansville, right?
Yeah.
And that was big time. But back to
him and
Mercurio.
Brian, because they both take their bats a specific way. Yeah. Andre's not gonna wow you with insane speed or incredible power. Or he does everything well. And that's the thing, is he's going to see a bat, he's going to take a bat deep if he needs to, He's a bunt if he needs to. A very high IQ guy.
Mm-hmm.
Understands how to play the game the right way.
He's
Controls
very sharp.
Yes, controls outfield. And you know what he's going to be. You know what he's going to do. You know he's going to control it. This weekend there was I don't think there was a single ball that I thought he should have made the play that he actually didn't make.
No, there was a couple of plays that he made closer that I didn't think he was having a chance to that he busted in on. And there was some barrels at that park. We talked about that.
He put himself in the right positions to be there, though.
Like, isn't it at the plate, too? There was some balls at that graveyard field that he barreled up that if we're here, it might be a different story.
Yeah,
Some
he's got
balls
some
get
strength.
down.
He's got some strength.
Yeah.
He's not going to, you look at him like, okay, he's not going to wow you. He's got some strength. And that's the biggest thing.
Very crafty. That's kind of what I've put together since he's been here so far.
He is crafty. He's and he'll probably sit it around. He's probably set that leadoff spot a little more.
Yeah.
I like what he does there. Probably more of where he belongs in that fourth spot, but
we'll see how it shakes out when we
see how
get
it
everybody
shakes out.
healthy.
Yeah.
Because we still got some dudes down that.
There's a couple guys I've put in my head to maybe put him up there, and see what happens. You know, we're still not healthy, so
we'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. The sheriff said I.O.
Sheriff, I mean, he's the man. He came out beginning of the year. He was smoking hot. I mean, he was just torching balls. And then about like second week, he looked a little bit out of rhythm. I feel like that's kind of how we felt about it. A little bit out of rhythm, getting a little bit out of his plan. I don't remember which day it was. He stayed after the game, and he was in there. I don't know. I'd say about an hour or so.
It was the
Washington suit.
Was it Washington?
I don't know, but he was in there. We were in there till about 1:30.
Well, it was Evansville game 3.
Yeah, we were in there a while, just kind of seeing what he was feeling, and we really got it down to his rhythm, and he fixed it. I mean, it was a night and day adjustment. The next day he came out and blasted one. It was across the street. I mean,
yeah, I think it was game 1 of the Evansville series. He felt awful. I think it was game 1.
Yeah.
He felt awful because it was a longer game. We didn't play very well. He didn't swing it very well.
Yeah.
And it was just little stuff. And we were here till I think we were up to like 1:30.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
We're talking with the nerds, and he has the highest exit velo of anybody on a club.
He's strong at contact.
Yeah, the way he hits the ball.
A lot of strength at contact.
Exit velo.
But yeah, so I mean, he made that adjustment, and even in Southern, he was barreling balls. I mean, he was almost 3 for 4 every day. I mean, with a walk or a hit by pitch or something. I mean, he was getting on base. He's put together good at bats. He was spitting on his curveballs, stuff down. I mean, that's how
spitting on balls up.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you really know
when he chased a few times before.
Starting to really when he's going good.
Dude, just spitting everywhere.
Yeah, he understands what he's looking for. Yeah, he's
a pro,
I think he's. If people don't know much about him. I think he is one of the best, if not by far, a top 5 hitter in this league. As in who he is as a hitter.
Yes.
Knows who he is. Understands what he's gonna do.
And he
not
works.
Not do too much. I mean, he works. He's smart, intelligent. I mean, you know what the thing is? He would hit probably 330 by himself. You know, and that's the thing is, you know, and with little help, he might hit a little more.
And he's a cool dude. Like off the
so talk about the dude. I want to talk about the dude.
He's a cool dude. He don't say much. Like you'll see him walking around, he's just kind of straight face. He don't really say nothing.
He's very witty.
Yeah, but
dry humor.
You'll catch him. Like he'll walk in, he'll like catch you with a quick one-liner, and you're like, wait, what? Wait, what did you just say?
He's
like
really
just like
good.
He gets on you quick. He's not like Louie.
No.
Where it's like kind of always upbeat, and always got something funny to say, or Harry.
Yeah.
He catches you off guard often. He's a cool
drops it
dude.
in there.
Fun to be
very,
around.
very relaxed guy.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
We don't know Johnny Villalobos, Yannicker. I had Yannicker in 19. I've known him probably since 17 with the Marlins. He's 21. He's the youngest dude on the team. You know,
He's in the league.
He's one of the youngest in the league, and he's a baby but the experience and the innings he's got to pitch before. You know, he's took all the lessons and he's applied them, and each time out he's gotten better. Yes. You're going to see his growth. You know, we did a few things mechanically with him, push him over on the rubber. His crossfire angle really, it's tough, man. It's tough on lefties because he's bearing down in on you. He throws the left on left changeup. His breaking ball's coming along. That thing's going to get sharper and tighter, and hopefully it is a wipeout pitch. You know, in the next couple of weeks, where he gets a little bit more feel with it. But as far as his durability and the way that he continues to attack and approach and come after guys, he pitches smart, but he pitches aggressively. He will throw when he knows guys aren't making adjustments and he's just pitching to a batter. He's not going to waste his time. He's coming at you. So I like that. He's got some killer instinct. But the dude's awesome. They say call him Magic Man. Yep. The dude is amazing. And if anybody, I'm talking magic trick. I mean, I can't do anything justice. We need to bring him on. And bring him on just to do like 3 tricks. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He's fun. He's got good energy. He works. He's out there. Like I said, he's young and he's still growing. He's nowhere near as good as he wants to be, and that's scary, man. It's scary if he keeps putting in the work and continues to progress little by little. And I hopefully we have him long enough to be able to hit those progressions before he jumps back in. And not saying that's going to deter his progression, but he has the opportunity to get out of here and go do some things in affiliated ball and get back on track and take some of the stuff he's doing now and apply it and have some good results. But there is a little bit of a plan and progression until that point. And there's still always little things to tweak it and make better. But no, Yannick, man, he's throwing the ball really well. I look for him. He's always prepared on the day that he gets the ball. So it's going to be a good series. He's lined up for Game 3 against Washington here. Again, you get Washington again, and so I'm excited to see how he implements a plan and attacks them.
The team that's swinging a little better now too.
They're swinging a little better. A couple different guys.
Yeah.
It is a matchup. As long as we stick to ourselves and focus on us, and we'll take care of our business and we'll adjust accordingly. But all right, Dave. Best play of the week.
Best play of the week. I don't know. I like that one play Louie made going back in the hole, throw to Harry at second base.
Yeah.
He wasn't even touching the ground. I mean, he threw it underneath him, in the air, midair. I mean, that's.
The one from the glove flip one too. You remember the glove flip
that
one
was
in
good.
Southern?
Or what behind the bag, right? They flipped to Terry for double play. I think that was an inning double play too. That was big. It was big. That was a good play too. I mean, he's a highlight reel over there.
He has been, man. He has been. What about any plays stick out to you? They were huge. Kevin Hahn covering home on a wild pitch strike 3.
Hahn was big, covering home on a wild pitch. I thought again Louie had one play where he laid out, made a play. I mean Louie consistently is somehow on here.
Yeah.
I thought there's a couple plays in Game 2 that Browder scooped or picked. That were big plays. They ended up saving some runs.
He's been good over
there. Yeah.
It's incredible how much he picks and how many plays he makes. I mean, if he doesn't make them, probably nobody's making them. It's pretty impressive what he does over there. And really, I thought our catching did really well.
Catcher's been coming along.
Yeah.
Those guys putting in the work. You got the early work with them?
Yeah. Right after the hip EP, we're over there doing blocking, we're doing all sorts of stuff, receiving. Normally we'll go double barrel machines. Curveballs. You get after it. It's really helping them. Like you can see, Craig Pritchard, Lytle, from the first week they were here, from now, receiving so much better.
Even that ball that kicked. I mean, it didn't kick way away. It kicked just enough for him to catch it, throw, and Han be there. I mean,
it's a nice play.
We'll
hit on those guys next week, man. We're running late. I know you got to get back and do your laundry.
Got laundry.
Dry's almost done.
What about Bryant? Finally back in the lineup.
You got to go do Bryant's laundry? Oh.
No Bryant.
No, he got banged up for a little bit.
I know.
With the foot, he stretched at first, whatever. I'm excited to get him back out there. He's been locked down at third. I know that foot's kind of probably had a little bit of effect on. He had a couple throws that got away from him. I think it's probably that pushing off.
Same with his groin.
Same with the groin.
Too, yeah.
And he looked for him to be healthy, but
someone is sneaky hitting wise this week. That's been very, very good. Joe Lytle.
Yeah.
He has been good. The timing, the way he times and the way he knows the strokes, you can see the matchups that are good or bad before those coming up. It's like, oh, he might light this guy up. He's been good, though. We'll hit on those guys, man. You guys don't get carried away. Just episode 2. Okay?
Wow.
You didn't fall asleep, man. I knew you'd stay awake.
Something I'm so interested in knowing a little more about is Rubio.
We'll get to know Rubio next week. He'll be the first guy. Right now, we're running out of time. We got to kick this show off, We got to get out of here. Rubio, Lytle.
You need to get Rubio and Lytle on the show.
Oh man.
Rubio and Lytle on the show.
We'll need more. But thank you guys for watching. This was week 2. This was episode 2 of the Game Report. 3-3. Still the best team in the league. 12-5.
Yeah.
Rolling. Get back on track. We got We got Washington, the Wild Things coming back in, and we got the travel team, the little Canadians coming in. I'm excited to play them. They play good baseball, man. Patrick Scalabrini always brings a fire. He always brings a good club, and they're going to play things the right way, and the dudes play together. So it's going to be a good test. I'm excited for that test. I'm excited to see some new blood and new faces get in here. So, good show.
Cheers.
What are you cheersing, man?
Another good week.
Beers.
Come on, man. Bust out your
It's a
beer.
good week.
Have fun with
Good
It was a
week.
good week.
Good week.
We split.
Good week.
It's probably a little hot now. Yalls. Y'all or nothing. IPA. We're good at the stadium, right? Selling these at the stadium. Here's your money. Don't drink and drive. I'll walk back to the clubhouse and live there, so you guys are good. But, good show. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.